many parts of this country. Come on in, fight for a progressive agenda. And that's what I am trying to do now. Now, will I succeed? I can't give you that answer. Maybe I won't. Maybe the resistance is so strong. But I do want to also say to you, as somebody who knows...
It's funny he uses the term the resistance. Will I succeed in transforming the Democratic Party? Maybe the resistance, meaning the hashtag the resistance. What are they really resisting? They're not resisting Trump. They're resisting progressivism. That's what they're resisting. And that's kind of ironic that he slipped and said that. It's kind of a Freudian slip. Well, maybe the resistance is, the resistance. Who is this guy? Oh, sure, you want to start a third party? It sounds great. What are you doing? He sounds like those people who were dismissing him during the 2016 primary. That's what he sounds like. Oh, yeah, you want to have... Oh, sure, everybody wants to have free things under the Christmas tree. You want to have Medicare for all and education and free stuff. That's what he sounds like, right?
The greatest irony...
communities.
Based on your long and complicated history in American politics, do you believe that a two-party system is the most viable and effective way to have an American democracy?
No, I don't. But you know what? The problem is we are not a parliamentary system of government. And that's not to say by any means that you can't have three parties. And if you were running in Europe, and your party got 5.
Bernie is a sitting senator who runs as an independent every time. And he's saying, nope, can't do it. Well, you know what?
5%, not a whole lot. You would have seats in the parliament, depending on the country. In the United States, you get 5% of the vote. That's what you got. It's 5% of the vote. You got nowhere in a hurry. If there are people who think running as an independent, running as a third-party candidate makes sense, do it. But I think right now, where we are with the great danger of Donald Trump and the billionaire class and the reactionary agenda they're up against, I am right now trying, will I be successful? We will see, to transform the Democratic Party in a very fundamental way.
So we have just passed the...
Very, very heartbreaking to see that first videotape I played and then to see that guy. Very heartbreaking, because my question, what I would like to ask Bernie, is what is this guy, but this Bernie, what does this Bernie know that other Bernie didn't know in 1993 or whenever that videotape was from? What does he know that guy didn't know? Because that guy before, he seemed to be like, people don't see any difference in the party. People come up to me and they say, I don't want to waste my vote. I hate that. What changed? What about the guy who said we need to have a rainbow coalition, but it has to happen outside the Democratic Party? What happened to that guy? And now he's giving you the same excuse that Bill Clinton gave you, that Al Gore gave you, that John Kerry gave you.
These are questions that Bernie has to answer. You know, his supporters. We got 50,000 people who called him. You were there.
I was there.
You know, Ron, Steph. You know, all of you guys were there, and said, just come here and answer these questions. You don't have to commit to anything. Just come explain it. You know, you were. I mean, Bernie slams elected officials all the time for not being responsive to their constituents about, they want to hold a town hall for Medicare for all. These are questions that have long been on the table for Bernie Sanders, and he needs to answer them. What's the line? What's the line?
That's the line. No. But he's not answering those questions. He's not coming on this show. He'll go on your show if you voted for Hillary. Right? So if you look at the shows that he does on the left, they're all people who voted for Hillary. He goes on Bill Maher's show. Bill Maher, who on the regular trashes progressivism and calls it every horrible thing that a corporatist calls progressives, and he goes on his show. But here I am, a guy who went to Iowa to cover his campaign, who went to Las Vegas to cover the debacle that was that primary. There's a guy who traveled all over this state when he was here covering him, and he won't come on our show. Why? Because he's afraid to answer questions, and then he has his press handler Josh literally lies to us. I'll say, hey, I thought you were going to get us a date with Bernie. He goes, I have to check his schedule. You have a schedule in your hand, Josh, and so now you're just a fucking liar like all the rest of them. You're just a bullshitting liar, which is sad that it happens inside of a progressive candidate's campaign that you're a bullshitting liar to a progressive show.